My name is Michael Gerard. I lead marketing for eSpirit, and we are a content management and digital experience management software company, and we basically help turn customers into lifelong fans. A Hybrid CMS is the next generation of a headless content management solution. And basically it's bringing together the best of both worlds, of being able to have a CMS that will deliver a scalable content management solution, but at the same time, it'll help you provide content for any channel out there, be it a digital sign, a mobile device, a progressive web application, or it could be a more traditional website. From an e-commerce perspective, if you think about e-commerce platforms out there that help ensure good transactions online, you have to deliver an experience nowadays. We're much farther than the old days of just a product or just simple pricing. We have to think more about experience for customers. And so our content management solution couples with a commerce platform in order to bring that experience to customers, to end users. What's very critical nowadays to deliver e-commerce experiences is to be able to enable content to be pulled in alongside of commerce into any device, into any application. And so once again, historically, we had e-commerce through websites. Now there's e-commerce and the experiences associated with e-commerce on digital signs. They're on progressive web applications. They're on any device in the future, especially like IoT. And so a hybrid CMS solution works very closely with an e-commerce platform to enable e-commerce managers, merchandisers, folks that don't need to code to be able to provide these experiences very easily for consumers. In order to understand the difference between a hybrid and a headless CMS, we have to think about how a CMS started off. Content management system initially started off as just providing content management for a website, and even in a commerce environment. And so all of a sudden you had all these new applications of it in these different channels, different devices, a mobile device as an example. So along came the concept of a headless CMS. So the body is the content management system, the head is the presentation layer. So a headless CMS means that you provide content management and it provides content for any of these different applications or channels or devices. A hybrid takes the best of both the worlds because a pure play headless, it's not scalable. You can't easily use it. You have to have developers, lots of developers to manage it. And also it doesn't integrate well with lots of other companies and takes a long time to deploy. But headless is wonderful for different channels. So a hybrid CMS versus a headless CMS, it does the best of both the worlds. It has the scalability of your original CMS. It has the capability for non-IT folks, business users to actually use the CMS. And also it enables the headless capability. Hybrid enables omnichannel marketing. And there's really sort of a next generation of omnichannel marketing, which is more of multi-experience. So very quickly we're finding content is in fragments and it's being atomized, since the most efficient way to manage content is to reuse content amongst different channels. And so with this hybrid capability, you're enabling omnichannel marketing. And you're enabling more than that, it's multi-experience. You're enabling a contiguous, consistent experience across different channels, which creates a better experience for folks and enables you as an e-commerce company or e-commerce retail company to deliver a better experience to your consumers and to be a differentiator for you. And this is why experience becomes a differentiator. Certainly as e-commerce companies are growing, as they're expanding to different multiple brands, as they're expanding to different geographies, going global, it gets more complex to manage that content, not mentioning, of course, the fact that we have different channels. So the best way to manage all that content is to leverage a hybrid CMS, where we have the capabilities for an organization to tap into the power of a scalable content management system. Putting it more simply is that if you have many people across your company managing content, if there's one core scalable content management system, it makes it easier for them to manage that content versus having multiple teams doing different things on their own. Even if you think from a branding perspective, if you have one content management system that's scalable, you're able to control how that brand looks across different channels and your different brands. The success of an e-commerce venture and online content at this point, you have to have content as part of your e-commerce venture. It's really a must-have. So no longer is price or product the key driving factors, and experience is the differentiator. And content helps bring that experience. Now content, it's not just traditional text, It could be shoppable images, shoppable videos, and then making those shoppable images, videos accessible on any channel. It could be social media or customer advocacy. So if one of your customers is out there and they're on social media and they post something on Instagram and they tag your brand, you want to have the capability to identify, hey, who's doing what across Instagram, and you want to be able to very easily bring it into your website and to create that experience, leverage customer advocacy for your own e-commerce company. A key success factor for e-commerce companies is to deliver an amazing experience. And the hybrid CMS, it won't dominate e-commerce and the future of e-commerce and retail, but it's going to be a key success factor for these companies. And it's going to enable them to be quicker, respond to market's needs. It's going to enable them, e-commerce companies, to empower their own people, non-IT folks, non-developers, to actually deliver experiences online. And the hybrid CMS is going to enable that capability to provide the content into any channel and into any device. If business owners and marketers think that it's important to provide an experience for their customers through their e-commerce platforms, through their e-commerce stores, or even retail, then a hybrid CMS is going to be critical for them to deliver content in a consistent manner, to be able to deliver that content into different channels, and to be able to deliver a more cohesive experience for their customers. And once again, that experience is going to be a key differentiator. And a hybrid CMS versus, for example, a pure play headless CMS is easy to use. It provides ease of use features that a headless CMS simply doesn't have. And that ease of use means that you don't have to go to as many developers, so it reduces costs from a resource perspective, and it increases your response to market needs, your time to value. In 2020 and beyond, one of the critical factors moving forward in e-commerce is this continuous fragmentation of content. And so if you think about, for example, we have many different channels out there and devices. Folks are online with e-commerce, they're going into the store, and what this does is this makes the management of content more complex. There's an atomization of content, if you will. So the way I look at the future and where we need to be from a CMS perspective is I look across it for three areas. Number one is agility, number two is empowerment, number three is intelligence. And so if you look at each of those three, where are we going from a market perspective? We have to be more agile as e-commerce companies, e-commerce managers. We have to get our solutions up to speed. We have to deliver our solutions quicker, and that means integrating with our current technology ecosystem. Second one, we have to empower our teams to be able to access our technologies. So I mentioned in terms of content management, you can't be going to developers all the time to deliver a new experience for your customers. And so as content management progresses, there's going to be a need to empower your folks more to make it easier for non-technical folks to use it. And then from an intelligence perspective, if you think about all these different pieces of content out there, you need to be able to measure what's the impact of that content in driving e-commerce revenues, in driving in-store revenues. So in looking into the future, the vision of content management, we have to make it easier for non-technical folks to manage that content. It could be through artificial intelligence. It could be having low-code, no-code environments that'll also empower your teams. And we have to bring intelligence about the success of your content in impacting e-commerce and retail revenues. And so that is what eSpirit does and how we bring to bear our hybrid CMS and our AI-driven personalization software to help companies. And we've been doing that for 20 years now and helping hundreds of companies across the world. Our customers represent over $500 billion in revenue, and we're supporting 1.5 billion plus page views per month for our customers across the world. The innovations that we're seeing in CMS right now across the world, we've got three key areas. It's really agility, empowerment, intelligence. From an agility perspective, it's very important that customers more quickly can integrate in existing ecosystems. And so part of that is making sure that companies can manage the complex world of content across different channels, across different geographies, different languages. So we're seeing the power of AI coming into play, and it's something that we've invested a lot in for our own organization, be it translation, be it managing content better, being it automated generated content. From an empowerment perspective, innovations we continue to see are this low-code, no-code environment, making it easier for folks to manage the content management process, to deploy new channels, for example, and to manage new progressive web applications across their company. And from an intelligence perspective, really key thing, once again, is understanding how your content is impacting your revenue. your top line, your bottom line, and ultimately your customer's experience, because experience really is the differentiator in e-commerce and retail. An example of innovation in CMS, with eSpirit, we have what's called touchpoint editing. So you can view content on different channels, could be your own channels or devices, or could be third-party devices or channels. You can view that content, that experience, but you can also edit it. And so what we're doing at eSpirit is we're enabling this touchpoint editing, and we're also enabling non-technology users to have an easier interface, a simpler interface to manage content on different channels, on different devices, and that's across the world. So getting to that idea once again of making it easier for non-technical folks to manage content on different channels and devices.